Good evening. It's not evening. I feel like such a liar when I say this now. It's actually Sunday morning. And this is in the past. But you are tuning in to the Emberlight Saga and our current quest, the Vanishings under Biggest Brother Lake. Um, my name is Declan. I am your game master, and we are picking up with Inez, Eric, Theranos, Kielira, Guy, and Finton on the shores of Biggest Brother Lake in the middle of combat, surrounded by miasma, corrupted frogs, and the tainted, and some enigmatic stranger out on the lake on a boat. But before we dive into that and we figure out what the hell is going on, a couple of things at the top of the stream to just flag for everybody. The Emberlight Saga is a grimdark fantasy set in a world that is dying. That means we explore some fairly heavy themes, some fairly raw emotional aspects, and the overall campaign tends to contain some violence, aspects of horror, both supernatural and psychological, strong emotional pulls, covering aspects such as loss, hopelessness, grief, mourning, and guilt. If that's not your cup of tea, if those are things that you are not cool with or comfortable with, totally get it. This stuff isn't for everybody. Then there's plenty of other D8 Dungeon content out there that you can go and check out. And you can catch all of that, actually, not say most of it, you can catch all of that over on our YouTube channel, including our podcast series, Romancing the Dungeon. I don't understand how people listen to podcasts on YouTube. I mean, I technically I know how they do it, but acoustic, no, not even acoustically, because I get that. I just don't know why that would be your platform for listening to podcasts. But that's all over there as well. And you can check out that if you want a little bit of a rom-com inspired. I can't even really say Dungeons and Dragons because we just make up the rules as we go along. But Dungeons and Dragons adjacent podcast. Okay. Right. I think we are going to do a quick round the table check to make to affirm what everybody rolled as the cloud of miasma just blanketed the lakeshore. And I think the only person that didn't have to roll was Inez, who is currently sheltering, not by choice, but is sheltered by the husk of a frog. Okay, yep. So, Emily, what did Eric get?
Eric got a 22 on the wisdom save.
Okay, perfect. And so for Theranos?
He got a nat 20 plus 7, so 27.
Okay. And Garnet, or what did Kielira get?
I believe she rolled a 13. I'm trying to double check. It's very far away.
Okay, that's fine. Randy, how did Guy get on? And there's a reason I'm doing it this order.
Yeah.
I think I got a 17, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And Keen, how did Finton get on?
I got a nat 20, of course, 100%. No, I got a nat 1.
Okay. If you rolled 16 or under, you take a point of fraying automatically. As this cloud it's like thick black fog just comes rolling over the lakeshore. Everything is covered. Those of you on the edge of the shoreline dealing with the tainted who had been trying to climb up out of the actual the pit when the lake had receded. And I think off the top of my head that was Kielira and Finton who had been mostly trying to deal with those tainted. The as they are consumed by it, you literally see the tainted just vanish. It's almost like they become one with this cloud, one with this corruption. For all of you, pass or fail, it's this oppressive coldness that just it actually seems to wrap itself around you. It tries to permeate deep within you, beyond just under your clothes and under your skin and into your bones. You feel this thing at the edge of your sense of self. And Finton, this is incredibly strange. You've seen this miasma. It's an unnatural, supernatural. No one can quite kind of agree on it, but it is very much an effect in the aftermath of the lasting dark. Just these roaming clouds of dark energy that just seem to affect the world and affect people. It clings to you. And you feel invigorated. You feel this surge of adrenaline. You feel a power. And it's like it's right in front of you. This energy, and it feels so close to magic. It feels that innate sort of energy within you that allows you to do the things that you do. There is this.
It feels like my paladin magic, is what you're saying.
Yes and no. It's
Yes and no.
Yeah, in the sense of you can tell this is different. You're not sure what the difference is, but there is this innate sort of it's when you see somebody like walking down the street, you're like, and you know them, and you just can't recall where you know them from, but there is that sort of certainty that you know that person. Like you're like, I know them. I don't know where. I can't quite remember. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's I know this feeling, but I don't quite know where I know it from. And it feels connected to your own sort of innate abilities.
Cool. I think Finton is like, you can kind of like, he was probably bracing himself, and now you can see him kind of relax a bit more, and it's more out of like, he's more curious than anything about what's going on, as he's kind of like, and nearly kind of embracing this interesting thing, as he's like covered in the fog.
As this is happening, because I'll come back to that in a moment. Kielira, you don't take your eyes off of the tainted creatures below that were kind of tearing themselves through. One had even kind of completely unfazed, unbothered by the brambles and roots that you conjured out of the soil, tore itself through them and assaulted and laid an assault on Finton. You I guess out of sort of a kind of experience, you don't take your eyes off of them, even as you're kind of swallowed by this cloud. It isn't that they've just vanished in the fog. You can't sense them anymore.
Oh, okay. Can I do a vibe check on the person in the boat, please?
Yeah, give me an insight check. Because you can just see their lantern out on the, even in the fog, you can kind of see it.
That is a 10.
You don't know if it's because they're far away and you can't. They seem to be watching. They seem to be almost waiting to see how this checks out. So it's kind of that as you kind of stare at them to figure out who they are or what they're about, they seem to be doing the same thing back to you. So it's that I can't read them, but I get the sense because you can kind of, they're just waiting. So that's the closest I can give you. For Eric, Thranos, and Guy on the beach, on the muddy beach off the lake, the frogs, as they are engulfed, you do hear sort of a thick, warbled groan out of them, and they both jump away.
Is someone still in the frog?
Yes, Inez is still in one of the frogs.
Okay. Can I do an action?
We're going to come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
you're in your weird. Ooh, what's this button do?
Yeah. Okay.
But for Eric, Thranos, and Guy, they might be able to do something because you do know Inez got swallowed by one of the frogs. You might be muted, so.
I so was. I thought I was, but I muted at source. Could I cast a cantrip real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Or if as they're running away.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing which one that Inez is in, Thranos would want to quickly turn around, grab the bell from his belt and ring it really hard once, and I want to use Toll the Dead on the frog.
Okay.
If it's within 60 feet of me.
It is, yeah. And Guy and Eric, is there anything that either of you are doing at the exact same time?
I actually would like to do mine. I was thinking of Toll the Dead. I think I'll do, since you're doing that, I'll do Mind Sliver.
Okay.
Which will take it is a save, but the good thing with that is then if it fails, it will take 1d4 from its next save. So if you want to take that into account for Guy as well, but up to you, because it might fail as well. So
yeah, because it's for Toll the Dead, it's a wisdom save for
so
intelligence for.
I imagine it's one of those things where, without saying it to any of each other, it's the three of you act on instinct, and that instinct is to get Inez out of this thing. So the three of you act, so if Eric is doing Mind Sliver, Thranos is doing Toll of the Dead, Randy, what's Guy doing?
Guy would like to cast Starry Wisp at the head of the creature, so if it hits, the frog will take 1d8 radiant damage and will be emitting dim light in a 10-foot radius. I'm trying to just essentially startle it, do whatever I can to kind of make sure we can free Inez, but without hurting Inez in the frog itself.
The way I kind of see it is, I think Guy, you're the first to act, but it's a hair's breadth in the difference, because as this thing leaps away, and it isn't just that it hops, a foot. These things jump quite far, and there's a moment where you you focus on the frog, and there is just this little flecks of light, just kind of blink into existence around the frog, and then one bursts violently as you cast Starry Wisp. So if you want to make your, that's an attack roll?
Yeah, this is an
Yep.
attack roll. That we 18 plus 5, 23 to hit.
Yep, that's gonna hit the
Okay.
frog.
And it takes 8 points of radiant damage.
Okay. At the exact same moment, as this burst of starlight just kind of erupts in front of the frog, and its eyes go in two different directions. And not because it's confused, but it's trying to look away, and rather than closing its eyes because it's startled and dazed, it immediately just kind of like looks in opposite directions. Eric, you cast Mind Sliver on it, and that has to make a save.
Yes, intelligence.
Okay. That's a 12. That's just a straight 12.
That fails. So
Okay.
it will take psychic damage, 9 points of psychic damage, and must subtract 1d4 for the next save. Do you want me to roll the d4 now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, of course, that has to be the one. That's a 2. You'll have to just subtract 2 from its next save.
Okay. And Thranos, Toll of the Dead?
Yep, it's Wisdom 17.
Okay. -2 on this is 13.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it's missing hit points, it takes 2d12 necrotic damage.
If you want to roll the 2d12 for me.
Yeah.
While that's happening,
Yeah.
Sweetums hasn't gone yet. Can Sweetums just the frog there as it's retreating?
Yeah, 100%.
Wonderful.
14.
Okay.
It is 50.
Sweetums
just
is
a
a deer as
regular-
well, right? Like kind of a.
Sweetums is currently a deer, yes.
Yeah.
Where are my dice? There they are. Just a straight up melee attack. That is a 16.
16 hits.
Yes. Where is that? Melee plus 2. D4s. Okay, hold on. Wasn't expecting. I need a D4. Let's- 6.
Okay. So, as those two giant corrupted frogs, because between Starry Wisp and Mind Sliver, the one carrying Inez is already down. So, Thranos, it's the other one I kind of have you concentrate on for a second.
Okay.
But it's that moment where, as this starlight erupts and just explodes in front of the frog, Eric, you actually sense Inez, and then because having a stronger consciousness, a stronger subconscious energy to kind of pull from, that's how you're able to anchor yourself to where the frog is. The frog's mind. The frog is the frog is two things at this exact moment. It is starving and it is terrified. And as it and now it's incredibly confused. Seeing that weakness in its psyche, you tear it apart with Mind Sliver. And the frog just becomes this unconscious, drooling blob of mucus and skin as it collapses on the shore side, its mouth just opening, its tongue spilling out, and Inez, who was bundled up inside it, comes rolling out in a mucky, wet pile. Thranos, sensing the other one about to leap away as well, with your bell, you give a gentle ring, and you hear the metal skim and skirt against the edge of the bell. There is no silence. It is a quiet, solemn ringing that deafens the frog. And as you see it stunned and just locked at and again, it looks completely confused as to what's going on. One was almost blinded by starlight. The other one is deafened by bells. A doe just comes bucking out of the tall grass, rears back up on its legs, and just brings 2 hoofs down on top of the frog's head, and kills it.
Now, Declan, was that other frog already damaged? Because if it had full... Okay, that's all right. Because if it had full HP, my damage would be different.
No, the frogs were not doing well. Since they were still up and they were still conscious and eating people, but they had both taken a nice chunk of damage. They're not particularly beefy frogs either.
Love that for them.
I would, in this moment, as this is happening, Finton, in the fog, you can see. You over your shoulder. You can just see that little flash, these little blinking lights of starlight, as Guy casts Starry Wisp. You can sense the trembling of bells as Thranos rings their bell. You can even see the person out on the lake on their boat. But it's in the fog that your drifting eye kind of wanders to. And you can see a shape of a person forming. And they walk towards you.
I'm pretty sure you're not real. Just in case you were, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to save everyone. He is fully deluded at this point because he feels like he can figure this out now. And he's... Actually, I'm going to say he starts shouting. And he's just like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to save everyone. And he's shouting that on repeat.
I think all of you hear this. You all hear Finton shouting this. The figure stops just a couple of feet in front of you. It looks humanoid. It has that shape. It's standing on 2 legs, quite tall, quite slender, but because it's just a shade, a shadow, you can't tell anything more. There's no real sense of the details, what they look like, but tall, lean. And as you shout this outwards, you hear not the violent rushing of the lake as it, like a dam bursting and it begins to fill in, but the water laps towards the edge of the lake, and you feel it rise to just below your knee. It's you had waded out a little bit to fight the tainted. The figure just reaches a hand out towards you. Not to shake you. They're not reaching a hand out to your hand. They seem to be reaching out to touch your face.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, that is a 15.
Whatever this is, deep down, you know you're staring at something incredibly powerful. Like this, real or not, if this is your subconscious mind conjuring up nightmares, then it's a pretty powerful nightmare. If it's anything other than your subconscious mind, then this thing exudes power on a level that you really can't comprehend. And it's one of those things where you feel it as you try and study it, as you try and connect with it, as you try and even empathize with this thing in front of you. Your skin prickles as you are flush with goosebumps that just seem to run across your body. And they're reaching a hand up. It's not a fist. They're not holding a weapon. They just seem to be reaching out to touch you.
Okay. I'm going to trust my instincts. And I'm going to cast Longstrider, and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to fucking run. Just run. Like, I'm running as fast as I possibly can away from it.
Okay. Sort of, it's that sort of, fight or flight, Fintan, and it's one of those things. It's not. I'm not running because I can't fight. It's running because I know I shouldn't. It's the it's the smart thing to do. This thing is way too powerful. What, real or not, it's way too powerful. As you turn and run, and you draw on that magic up from you, you feel the power welling up as you turn behind you as well. And as you run out of the lake, up onto the shore towards the beach, where you can see the others have kind of gathered around Inez to see if they're okay, and you bolt in that direction, you just hear,
"Of course you will, my son."
And the lake fills in.
I don't like that. That's Kian talking, not Fintan. Okay. Finn's going to look at the rest of the party and go, I'm not going. I'm going to stay here for the moment. I'm just going to stay with the guards. I'm not going from here. I'm sorry. I'm probably not in the best mental state with what's going on right now. I do apologize.
You okay?
No, but we're gonna fix that. So I'm going to be more of a risk, I think, going onto that lake than a benefit.
Declan, does there look to be anything wrong with Fintan?
You don't even have to roll an insight for this. Fintan is gone deathly pale, is covered in sweat, and is trembling.
Okay. Furnace would immediately kind of go over and sort of like offer like his cloak, a blanket, a healing potion.
No, you're gonna need all of that. I will be fine as long as I don't go on the lake. I might try and figure out a way to get around the lake, but I'm sorry, I can't. You'll be fine. I have to go.
Aye, but you're not fine. We kind of need to know what happened.
When I figure that out, I'll tell you.
Does Finton have a ascending stone?
I don't think so. I don't know how we divided up the sending
Yeah,
stones.
you talked about kind of figuring out, and we'd I think the kindling were given one between them. So if you want to say, well, if Finton is staying behind, then give Finton a sending stone.
Yeah, we'll give Finton the sending stone.
Okay.
As soon as you know, let us know.
I will. And I have to go now in real life, so I'm going to jump off.
Yeah.
Is there any last things?
No bother at all. Thanks so much, Keen.
Perfect. No problem. Slán.
Thank you. See you, Slán.
With Vinton just kind of dropping to his knees and just sitting on the edge of the shore, you also see that Niamh and Harvin. Niamh is trying to. She's trying to, like, Harvin is also like completely out of sorts. He's witnessed his brother lost to the corruption and the lasting dark. He's also kind of, whether it's shell shock or just in a complete state of distress. She's trying to take care of him. The miasma seems to just dissipate. The lake is normal. There is still that gray mist that had kind of permeated throughout the morning, kind of wafting off the lake. It is cold. The sky is gray overhead. The five of you are sort of stood around Inez, checking. They are alive. They are unconscious. And in the moment, as you deal with Finton and try and figure out what's happened to him, because he was fighting the corruption, he was fighting the tainted. You heard him shouting at the lake and then come running out of it in a panic. Inez, because Keen's not the only person I'm going to try and scare out of the stream. As everything went dark, and you felt your body being kind of sort of like violently pulled, and then the maw of the frog just sort of close around you, and then everything just kind of fell away from you. One thing remained. It was the sound of water. Like not the lake, not a river, like a stream. Like a little brook. You could hear the water rolling over stones. And it's coming from all around you. You can't see it. You can't feel it. But you know it is there. You know within your heart of hearts, it is there. It exists. I think you might be muted. It's weird. It's pulling in your subs, but I can't hear you. Did I do something wrong? Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. While you disappear, we figure out what that is. What is everybody else doing to try and resuscitate Inez?
Thranis was gonna kneel down beside her, take like the black leather gloves that he has on off, and just kind of gently, place his hands on places where she has wounds, and sort of like this faint amber light kind of shines kind of beneath his fingertips. His hands are very pale, so the light kind of looks like a candlelight behind like smoked or frosted glass, and little like golden threads, come out, and as they touch her skin, it's almost like melted candle wax. It starts to glue the wounds together, and I want to cast Cure Wounds on Inez.
Okay.
And let me see.
No, it's so weird. The subs can pull you in. I'm gonna try because before, Sam, I messed with your the last time I think we had this. I tried switching your mic before, and then I was able to hear you.
Okay.
Yep, now we can.
All right. We'll do our best. Apologies, everyone.
No. Yeah. So
but thank you for the cure wounds.
Yeah,
you healed 12.
Wow, as a level 1, that's pretty much
more than
full
enough.
Health, right? Before you are, so we're like, I imagine this is kind of happening just before you are freed from the frog's throat, which is a sentence.
Okay, so I'm inside. I hear the running water.
Yeah,
ever present. Oh. And I don't know what's about to happen.
Nope.
Oh. Because my first instinct is to do something potentially quite violent. But I don't want to undo everything that's here. So I wonder if there is a way to I don't know if I can deepen the connection somehow. I want to understand if it's if something's being communicated by the animal, or if there is in fact an element to engage with. Because if there's an element to engage with, I think if I hear the brook, then I would try to cast Shape Water again, and just to have it sort of become more visible to me, or more tangible to me.
Yeah. Can you describe what that looks like for Inez as she like how would she, because it's like you're surrounded in dark, and then you hear there's water around you. So what does it look like?
I mean, I suppose in my head we're having a bit of a like, person in the boat and the whale kind of a thing going on. So if that's the case, I'd probably be just trying to get a bit of a sense of like from where I've been swallowed or fallen. If I can feel it around my feet, if I can feel it like with like kind of, I'm almost like curled up in my own fetal position. If I can feel the sensation of water and against my skin, or like in the hearing of it, I just want to, my mind is kind of just focusing on it kind of growing that sound and growing that feeling, and like the idea of well, if I focus on the sound, if I can find a way to make the sound louder, it's going to be bringing it closer to me. So it's kind of almost like filling up the empty space in the belly with more water, just to make it closer and to make sure I can feel this stream that goes with the sound.
I love that. And I want you to take a point of inspiration for that description. I think that was beautiful. As you, because it's a feeling, because there's and it's a memory of a feeling. What does the water feel like against your skin? How does it feel when you step into the brook and the water runs past you? As you connect with it, as you feel this water just glance against your skin, you find yourself standing in a forest. Your feet just ankle deep in a stream. You can see where it's coming from, the origin, the source of this water. It's coming from this stone in front of you. There's a little crack and the water just trickles out of it, and then it flows down and it flows around your feet. And as you look behind you to trace where the stream is flowing, you see it flowing gently down this slope in the woods, this forest, and it is a very old forest. Your eyes catch the trees, and in the distance, looming over them, these huge mountains. And when you look back to the source of this water, there are 3 women standing in front of you, all wearing a veil, all covered in tattoos that look like your own. And they bring their hands up to their face. And on the back of their hands, you see 2 tattoos of eyes. They bring them to their face. And you feel this energy course through you. And as you gasp for air, you see Thranos just looking down at you.
Easy now, easy now.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Was I a frog?
Aye, not anymore. That was nearly another page in my ledger, but
I saw them. And I want to, without explanation yet, I want to scramble through my pockets to find the note that Ramona gave me.
It's there. It's buried deep. Like it's it's not shoved in there carelessly. But
I wanted to just check if it says anything about Tewa, and this lake.
The 3 women?
Yeah, well, like Tewa and this area and this lake.
There was a little bit of information kind of about the 3 brothers. The lakes were named after 3 gods. They weren't named after, but they were kind of associated with these 3 gods.
Yeah.
And that littlest brother lake, which is to the far northeast, is found on the shores of a village called Achille Bridge, and that there was a shrine to War there. But that is the better part of nearly 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half travel from here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. I saw them. They're here. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was crazy. Are you okay? Is everyone here? You're all okay?
Hi, we're more worried about you.
I am.
Oh, he just was like going to say, like, I've never had someone that excited coming back.
I mean, obviously relieved. Thank you. So grateful, of course. I had and I hush into Thronos. I had a vision while I was in there.
He nods understandingly and with a curiosity.
I think they tried to reach me. I think the gods tried to reach me.
He looks very intrigued now. What did I say?
I saw a brook and stone coming out from the brook and I showed my tattoo of the eye and the 3 pupils and there were 3 figures and they had these and they weren't threatening. They were just there, but it feels important. And I think maybe Tewa was trying to like send something to me. A message. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yes, very exciting stuff, I think.
With
not for now, but exciting.
Sorry. Do the rest of us know kind of the significance of her tattoos?
Anyone that's interested, I would have shared informally around the place. But the level to which I think different party members might have been interested or cared at the time might have varied.
Well, okay, I feel like Thronos would have been interested, especially if there was like a spiritual connotation to them. So what would he know about that from her?
Just that one is Medea, the goddess of witchcraft, and the other symbol is the eye with the 3 pupils is representing the fates. So basically between the 2 it's holding respect for those elements as well as the natural elements.
Okay. Sort of like when Inessa talks about what she saw, there's kind of a soft smile spreads across Thronos' face and he nods. I think we should keep an ear out, but approach it all with a gentle caution.
I mean, as I say it out loud, like maybe they were trying to warn me, or potentially they were about to deal me a fate. Who knows? But they were there.
I believe you.
Can I check, because I've been in a frog, but just a vibe check here.
Yeah.
So there's nothing attacking us. Everyone's looking fairly chill and mainly concerned that, like, until I'm back at
Yes. Yeah.
Status
Correct.
quo. Okay. So there's no one to take care of. There's no one else to support.
Nope.
I guess just that
Everybody's-
Fenton's looking pretty spooked, but
Spooked, but like not harmed.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is this shrine thing, but it seems like a really far away thing. I wonder, though, I don't know how to get there, but I wonder if there is something around here that is worth a look.
What's everybody else doing at this point? Because I think a lot of this conversation between Threnos and Inez is not kind of into each other's ear, but it's kind of a little bit quieter, I imagine. For Eric, Guy, and Kialira, like Finton is just staring into his own hands, like he's just and you see that Neve has kind of, I think, brought Harvin over to him as well, so she's kind of keeping an eye on the two of them. What are the three of you doing?
I think Eric, hearing Finton say something about it being a possible liability, that struck a chord. He hasn't said anything. I think he's just sitting on the ground a few meters away from Finton, just looking over every now and then, but not saying anything, just being there. And looking at the lake, looking at Finton, and waiting to see what we're doing next.
Okay. Kialira?
So the miasma disappeared. The very scary person on the boat also disappeared. Everything is gone.
No, the boat on the figure, or sorry, the figure on the boat, not the other way around. The figure on the boat is still out on the lake.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. See, I misunderstood. I thought the figure on the boat was the same person that came to Fenton. I did not realize those were two different entities. I think we should deal with whatever this is, pointing out to the lake. I don't know if they were affected by the miasma. I don't know if they called the miasma, but I think dealing with this is going to be our best course of action in this moment.
Neve, like when you point, Kialira, you see Neve kind of averts her attention from Harvin and Finton, and she kind of stares out at it a little as well. Now that now that the miasma is gone, anyway, it's a little bit easier to make out. It is a long boat, and the figure standing in it, again, too far away to make out any real detail, but they look quite tall, or they seem quite imposing standing in the boat, and they're obviously holding like a large oar, and she stares out. I don't. It can't be. She kind of moves closer to the edge of the lake, and she just kind of exclaims, and you kind of hear her shout out, "Kyan, Kyan!" And she starts waving, and then she looks back at you. I know him. He's a ferryman, and she kind of comes running back up towards Yi, occasionally turning back to kind of wave at him, like she got her arms over her head. He's a ferryman, and like she's saying this to you as if you would know what this is. from the name, it's effectively somebody whose job is ferrying people and or goods across the lake, but also up the River Darrow. It is notably one of the most. It's an incredibly dangerous profession. At the best of times, before the Lasting Dark, it wasn't exactly the safest of jobs. Now, with the Lasting Dark, water whites, the miasma, and everything else in between, it is an incredibly needed and valued role, but so few do it anymore.
Has he given any indication that he has acknowledged her at
He's
all?
rowing closer. He doesn't say anything back.
Okay, so the American in me wants to just moonbeam this man. But that is not what Keylor is going to do.
I'm just going to drop a missile on that target over there. A lunar missile.
Yes. But no, that's not what Keylor is going to do. They're going to wait for instruction.
I'll see what the others are doing, but is he within 30 feet of me?
The ferryman?
Yeah.
Oh God, no. It'll
Okay,
take him a little while to get to the little dock.
Okay, I'll wait, but my intention, unless I'll see what the others, what he who's with us is doing, my intention is to cast Detect Thought once he gets within 30 feet.
Okay.
But that might change depending on what happens.
Is there anything, like, as we're waiting for Cayenne to come kind of closer to the shore, is anybody doing anything else, or do we want to just let that happen?
How long is that going to take?
Not too long. He wasn't so far, he wasn't so far that you couldn't see the boat.
Mhm.
And he's getting closer. He's only a couple of minutes.
I think what I would like to do, if possible, is ritual cast Find Familiar so I can change Sweetum's shape into something that has wings to send them out over the water so I can get a better view of this person.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that.
Let's see. Something
what you
with
want?
Wings. You know what? Let's go classic D&D, and I will just choose a raven.
Okay.
Ooh.
As this happens, as you kind of Keylor, it isn't for Sweetums to fly. It isn't about being attached to the earth. So scooping a handful of mud and sand and stone up, you hold it aloft, squeezing it, and you can feel some of the grit and the mud crumble in your hand. And as you open it out, the wind catches it. And we see the doe just sort of tuck her head. She bends her neck. She tucks her head inwards. And as she kind of makes herself smaller, from her back, just these two dark mauve wings with streaks of navy and black just erupt. And as quickly as the doe kind of balls itself up, there is just a flash of light and feathers, and a raven goes airborne out across the lake. And you see, and again, it's kind of all happening roughly at the same time. You see,
just one quick. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
No, sorry. You could. I can do mine after.
You go.
It was just one quick thing. At the same time, I think Eric's looking at the boat, and it's you're not anyone looking wouldn't be sure if Eric knows it, but Eric's hand just goes like this and starts scribbling in the sand as I'm going to do magical cunning to get one spell slot back.
Okay, love it. In that moment, as Sweetums just sort of swoops out over the lake, something dives rapidly in front of its eyes. You just see there is just this, it's a blur, Keelira, and you hear a fat, heavy thunk and splash into the water. And as quickly as it hits and disappears under the water, it comes straight back up. And there is a flurry and flash of water and feather as you see this old gray heron come out of the water, a fish in its long, sharp, spear-like beak. It swoops out in front of the raven, tilting its head back as it swallows the fish whole, and it lands on the edge of the boat. And you see this old man standing there in these tattered, weather-beaten, wet-looking robes, a large brimmed hat on his head. He's holding an oar, like a large, heavy oak stick with these intricate markings and engravings on it. It thuds against the dock, and as he does, the heron kind of bops a little closer to him. He reaches down for a large, old, soaked rope, and he ties it off against a little pillar on the dock. And Eric, you reach out. The first thing you feel, there's a sense of wonder, that like a curiosity about this man, and he's curious about these potential passengers. Who are they? Where did they come from? Where are they going? What will I take? What will I take? Like, as in, like, where will I take them? What will I take from them? Trying to, like, he's trying to get the measure of the people in front of him. That's his surface thoughts. Do you wish to push deeper?
Yes.
Okay. And on that, it's a save, isn't it, for me?
That's at 14 wisdom.
Okay.
And he will know that I'm probing.
Yeah. It's a wisdom save, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, awful dice rolls. Do something decent for Declan.
No, don't.
Okay, that is a 17.
Okay, the spell ends. Oops. I tried.
But he knows that you've done this as well, doesn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, I know it's coming from me.
Yeah. In that moment, as you push, it isn't. You feel as if your hand is reaching into a thicket of reeds as you push. And then you feel something push back.
Okay.
A voice just sort of croaks out over the air, and you can hear the sound of just the lake water. How many to cross?
To cross to where?
Do you not wish to go to Castle Groom? I can take you north, up the River Darrow, if you so wish, but only as far as the Bend. Neve is kind of Kyan, it's Neve from Castle Groom. You remember my parents, my grandparents. And his gaze just kind of shifts towards her. And he just smiles. It's a very sort of forced isn't the right word. It's kind of a strained smile, but he just smiles at her. And he just nods his head.
Is there any sort of recognition on his face when she says that to him?
Yeah, like he reacted to her, like but he's just not engaging. Like, if anything, he looks exhausted.
Okay. Is that somewhere we need to go?
You do know that Castle Groom is where a lot of the refugees have come from that are not only causing Mount Kilry to be at they're beyond capacity, but they're now sending anyone they can't take care of to Varan. So a lot of people. Castle Groom is on the eastern bank of Biggest Brother Lake, so it's not a city in the way Mount Kilry is, but it's a very large town, and there are a lot of like little feeder villages and hamlets and farmsteads that would sort of feed into the population of that space. So when the Lasting Dark and these floods began, a lot of those people fled to Castle Groom. Then Castle Groom fell, so all those people fled to Mount Kilry, and those that can't be taken care of in Mount Kilry are being pushed further out. So Castle Groom is somewhere affected by this Lasting Dark, but we still don't know what's causing it.
Okay. Does this gentleman look hurt or anything? Just going by, like, the miasma and everything came whilst he was also, in the middle of the lake.
No, he looks, like I said, he looks exhausted. He looks drained, but he doesn't look injured. He doesn't look sickly. Like I'm not going to say he doesn't look like the picture of health, but he doesn't seem to be like he doesn't look like he's about to collapse either.
Okay.
So what you do know is, like, a lot of those who fled Castle Groom, a lot of these refugees that fled the town, a lot of them made it to Mount Kilry. But for as many that did, just as many more went missing. And then Mount Kilry sent out an expedition. They didn't come back. A second expedition had been sent out, and they didn't come back.
Okay, so Castle Groom is the village that's, like, entirely abandoned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, people did choose to stay behind, but we haven't heard from any of them. Like, we do know that Neve's grandparents refused to leave.
Okay.
The carvings that are on that ore, are they magical in any way, or are they?
I'm going to say, just from the raven kind of just circling, you don't feel any magic emanating from the ore. But if you want to give me a perception check to see what it can notice without you physically approaching Kaya, whatever the raven can see, I can let you know.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing to do as a DM is to give you all an NPC and then everyone go, I don't trust him.
Yes.
Declan said he looks weird.
I think Inez wants to ask, how do you stay safe on
That is a
the
dirty
water?
20.
How do you stay safe on the water?
How do you stay safe on the water?
Yeah.
How have you not been affected?
His again, he just turns his head, and he looks at you and as and it looks like he's not just looking at you. He's looking into you a little bit. And he scoops low in the boat and he reaches a hand into the lake. Because I am as much a part of the lake as the water. I know her. I know these waters. I respect these waters. I tell her stories. And he sort of, the water that he'd pulled up, he lets flow back into the lake. The staff, Kielira, Sweetums is kind of, it's the, your innate curiosity is Sweetum's innate curiosity. So it's like, yeah, I also kind of want to know what's in the, what's that? At first it just looks like swirls and lines. Like it just looks like, you know, some sort of ornate kind of carvings and markings that, you know, just for decoration. But Sweetums has to get a little closer because Sweetums is like, you wouldn't do just that for the sake of it. It's like a tapestry. It's like a wooden tapestry.
Ooh.
It seems to tell a story. Like you can see little figures carved into it. You can see what looks like little water. And at the end, where his hand rests, it's resting on this giant serpent-like head.
Okay. Interesting. We'll file that away for drawing later.
Okay. How many to cross?
How many have you carried across?
And he looks up and looks over his shoulder back to the other side of the lake. Many. But less these days.
From this side?
And he just nods.
And how many haven't returned?
That's a very good question. And I'm trying to find the right way to answer it. He doesn't answer you.
Okay. That's an answer in itself. Okay. First, we kind of look to the group. And specifically kind of to Inez I have a feeling fate's maybe pulling us this way.
Inez is like seconds away from jumping on this boat with permission. So she's just like waiting for someone older and wiser and more authoritative to give a green light somewhere.
But Ernest, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's it.
Thranos turns back to the ferryman. Before we had board, could I have your full name?
He'd kind of been staring back out towards the lake when you ask him his name. Kyan Loud.
How'd you spell the surname, Declan? Sorry.
Lowd.
Okay. Thranos gestures to himself. Thranos. Will the lake be happy if we crossed her?
The lake knows its duty.
He nods and looks to the group. I'll keep us safe. And he steps onto the boat.
Randy, what's Guy doing during all this?
So, Guy has experienced a lot and was trying to take stock of everything that happened, which was so many, many things. But now, just standing at the dock about the board is hesitating. I think wants to ask, will the boat be able to carry all of us? And kind of looks down at his size and also wants to ask Neve, because the destination, is that the Castle Crum where Neve may not have seen her parents since?
Yes, yeah, her grandparents stayed behind, so that she's from Castle Crum.
Her grandparents,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, questions Neve and Herman. Neve, would you like to maybe try to find your grandparents? And Herman, would he like to come with as well?
I think as all these questions come out of Guy, Neve, you see a moment, Guy, where the chance to go back to Castle Groom to maybe look for her grandparents, to figure out what happened, to know what happened. You can see kind of a light in her eyes just brighten. And then when you ask for Harvin, she remembers her junior officer. She remembers her friend and the state that he's in when he saw his brother lost to the lasting dark and the corruption. She's not as tall as Guy, but as a dragonborn, she's there. So she reaches up, she puts a hand on your shoulder. There's a small house on the edge of the main square. It has a garden filled with twilight roses and one too many ornaments. If you could go, if you could check, I would be in your debt. I just want to know one way or another. And she looks over her shoulder towards Harvin. I will keep an eye on Harvin and I give you my word that I will protect your comrade as if he was one of my own. And the Kayan just kind of asks how many are crossing. And is everyone just going to get in the boat?
Yeah.
So if you've muted again.
Thraina's mute.
I keep doing that. Sorry. So Therese, I guess, would have been too quick to hop into the boat. Neve had told us her grandparents' names. I think I had asked when we had first kind of met and she had spoken about. I don't have the notebook where I'd written them down.
Let me check if I wrote them down. Vanishings. No, I did not. Nope, I did not write them down. Let me see if I have them in my. Maybe I was a clever DM and I wrote them down. What I'm gonna do? Okay, what we'll do is everybody else getting in the boat and heading out with Kayan across the lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, while I frantically see if I wrote these names down somewhere, in which case, if I didn't, they'll just be Nana and Pawpaw. We are going to take our break there, which gives me a couple of minutes to frantically find those names.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. It's fine. It's my fault. I've gotten really good at like writing stuff down that I make up off the top of my head, but I didn't write that down.
It's okay. We know what the house looks like, so
I've also made that up, so I better write that down too. We are going to take a quick break. We will be back in about 5-ish minutes. So if you want to grab a drink, take a stretch, bio break, anything like that, we'll be back shortly. Okay.
Let's do that.
See you then.
Thank you.
And we are back. If you are just joining us, then Inez, Eric, Thranos, Kiulira, Guy have all stepped on Kyan, the ferryman's boat, looking to cross Biggest Brother Lake and head to the abandoned village of Castle Croom on what would be the eastern side of the lake, the eastern shore of the lake. And it is as Kine untethers the boat and moves off. He plunges the oar into the water, bracing against the edge of the dock, and you hear the wooden frame sort of groan as he pushes against it. And it's strange, as one of the last people to step into the boat, and probably one of the biggest people here. The boat doesn't feel cramped. The boat doesn't feel like you're all kind of on top of each other. Like there seems to be room for everybody to sit and have their space, have their seat in it. And Cayenne pushes off. The boat kind of bobs and weaves on the waves of the lake, and he finds a steady rhythm. And the heron, the old grey bird that you saw perched on top of it, kind of stares at the five of you, just watching you all, until the boat turns about and he pushes again, plunging the oar deep into the water, and it sort of surges forward slowly. The bird takes flight up as you begin to sail westwards. Yeah. Mhm.
About her grandparents on our travel to the lake in the first place. So he just kind of wants to kind of confirm that promise to her. So just before they push off, he just wants to be like, if they're there, we'll find them. If they've left, we'll know it. And if they've passed, they won't be left alone. I can't promise you the answers you're looking for, but if your grandparents have a story left to tell, I'll bring it back. And if all that's left is their names, those will come back with me too. And he just kind of places a hand over his chest and nods to her before the boat would leave.
She regards what you're saying very solemnly, and then she reaches for your hand, very much like she reaches to take it, and she shakes it. She gives it a very strong sort of affirmative handshake. There's no right or wrong answer. I just wish to know, one way or another, good or bad. And she gives it kind of a gentle squeeze.
Yeah.
And she heads kind of back off the dock towards Finton and Harvin, who are still sort of set on the shore.
He doesn't say anything thorough, but he just gives a nod of like a deep understanding.
As the boat begins its journey across the lake, Guy just takes out. Was it a dulcimer? Or
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
dulcimer. Yeah, and it's a very heavy, slow, solemn melody that he plays on it. And I think Thranos, you kind of recognize it as a piece of music often played at a wake. It's not a sad song, but it's a song to still the mind and gentle the heart, to just think about those who have passed. It's a song of remembrance in its own right. And as the five of you sit, Sam, you were saying there was something you wanted Inez to do as part of this journey. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think it would just very much depend on the level of perhaps trepidation or nervousness that Inez observes in the rest of the party around the idea of going into open water, in a way. So I think it's more just kind of getting a bit of a vibe check of if enough people are concerned, just based on their body language, really, not really actually asking the question explicitly.
Well, I think that's a good place to start. I think then, how is everybody feeling as you see the shore, the eastern shore, kind of get further and further away, and as Cayenne sort of steers and maneuvers the boat deeper across the lake, you all kind of start to realize that you are sort of you're not in the middle of the lake by any stretch, but if anything was to happen at this point, the swim back would be quite a tough swim. How is everybody feeling, knowing what's just happened with the Lasting Dark and the Tainted, seeing Finton just sort of disappear on the horizon, and your destination isn't even in sight? What's the mood? And I think if it's okay, we might start with Kielira. I think you might be muted.
I double muted. Sorry. Coming from a family of like seafaring fisher folk, this is unbothered, I guess is the word. Despite what could be lurking underneath, she's fine. Debating on whether or not to shift Sweetums into something more buoyant, but otherwise, is just watching the raven sort of like inch over to the heron to see if they're friendly or not, and then like attempting to maybe make friends by like showing them, because like Sweetums is magic, they don't need to eat, but like sort of like hovering over where there's more fish and just being like, hey, if you're still hungry, there's some guys over here that look kind of tasty.
Give me a perception check for Sweetums, just to see what it notices about the heron.
That is a 7.
Yeah, it does watch the heron sort of, swoop low and like skim before, and then kind of go back up, but it's like it's checking to see. And yeah, it's just you see the heron, it's doing what a heron does. It's hunting in its own way. It doesn't seem to pay Sweetums any sort of attention. It doesn't seem phased or bothered by the raven at all. It doesn't see it as a threat. It doesn't see it as something kind of invading its territory. It doesn't even regard the bird.
Okay.
For Thranos, what's going through their mind?
So Thranos, at the minute, he's quite focused on writing in his journal, in the ledger. Hearing the song being played by Guy and the dulcimer, he's kind of he would know the words. It's something that he would have probably sung a lot. He would have been, taught the songs by his mother and grandmother. So he's probably singing like a little bit like softly, and kind of just a deep, tone along to it, not for any other purpose than almost a self sort of soothing. He's thinking about the group having left Finton behind. It was already a dangerous mission. We're already down. We already nearly lost a kindling. We're already down someone else, and he doesn't know what happened to make Finton, react like that. So I guess in a way he's kind of questioning, is he doing the right thing? Is there more that he should be doing? I think anyone who's maybe particularly astute would maybe see that he's a bit, uncomfortable and pensive. But he's looking to each person in the boat as well to try and gauge that they're okay.
And Emily, what about Eric?
I think Eric's sitting close to Thranos and Guy, and is listening to the song, which he'd be pretty familiar with. He's been through quite a few wakes, and it's like every time that he hears that song, every time he's at a wake, he has a thought for his parents and his siblings, even though there's always a part of him that thinks they're not dead, just gone. There's always that hope that he's never been able to fully lose. He has a thought of them, especially this time. It's a very deliberate thinking of them, thinking of memories with all of them, specific memories, and not the way he saw them in the vision earlier today. Very much avoiding that, and very much going back to very early memories with all of them. And as to being in the water, he's very, I would say, neutral about that, because there is one environment that Eric would feel weary in, but that's also the one that he's also both very weary and most at ease, because it's where he spent most of his life, which is the woods, and that would be, and it's the water is something he's not familiar with, but he's not scared of, because he knows the scariest things, and the scariest things are not there.
Okay.
And
And I think for Ranji, for Guy, is it a case of them playing the instrument is kind of like keeping him grounded almost?
Yes, it's definitely helping him to be centered and trying to process everything that happened, the dangers that we're faced, but also I think the melody sort of moves from this lament to be played at the wake to something more, having some tunes that are kind of higher, more hopeful, kind of that the courage that was shown, and the fact that even though we were near death, nobody did die, and that darkness did dissipate, that dark cloud vanished when he was encroaching upon us. I think there is kind of that melody that permeates, that rises up about the hope, and even if it may not be good news, that perhaps Neve's grandparents we may not find them alive, but at least we will be able to bring back that much needed answer that she's looking for. I think there's that hope that he carries in the melody, and also encourages him to continue.
Inez, I think as you watch the others, you don't know if it's the presence of the hearth amongst everybody that kind of it's not that everyone's calm. You can definitely see there's an edge in the air, but I think people trust in Thranos, but also the shift in Guy's music from that sort of like gosh, this is a bit sad. This is a bit like, like, is this bumming everybody out? Like, and it's a natural sort of progression from the, oh, I was playing something sad. I think I should play something a little bit more sort of filled with a little bit more joy. There's definitely an unspoken tension on the boat, and you don't know if that's because Cayenne, who's at the front now, steering and rowing, you don't know if it's because he hasn't said anything since the five of you stepped aboard. You don't know if it's the fact that you don't know what's awaiting you on the other shore, but there is this, with the exception of the occasional splash of water when the heron dives in, or Guy's music, there is just this pressing feeling. Oh, you've gone muted again.
Okay.
Oh, you're fine again. Yeah.
Yeah. A pressing feeling. I mean, I suppose hearing the song and seeing everyone else trying their best to temper and recalibrate themselves, I don't think Inez would look to offer more than what there is. At the end of the day, you know, she's not spent a lot of time with these people, but she has, you know, often safeguarded many a ship and has had to be the one to temper the anxieties of crew. But it seems like that job's already being served, so it doesn't need more energy and attention being given to the pressing feeling. Instead, I think what she would end up doing is taking more interest and fascination in observing Cayenne in the ferryman and the staff, and probably is very reluctant to interrupt him, as much as she really wants to ask so many questions about what he said about, like, I tell her stories. I think what she would end up doing is really taking her attention towards the staff, to the oar, and the inscriptions on it, and kind of that meditative thing of, similar to focusing in on the sound of the brook, noticing how it dips in to the lake and moves back out, and just like where the water attaches itself to the etchings and the inscriptions, and just trying to, almost read it and read what, and kind of imagining what stories the water is being told right now.
I'm not even going to make you roll for it, because I think if you're the one sitting closest to Cayenne on the boat, kind of looking back on the others, I think it's crude. Okay, this isn't like master craftsman sort of etching. This looks like something that Cayenne might have done himself. Like it's not that it looks bad, but it's not. It's not as intricate as you would see woven in a tapestry or painted on a canvas. This is a knife.
A knife and some etching.
Yes, yeah. There are three figures. You see these three figures. They look similar in that sense of they look vaguely sort of like a human shape, and the etchings around the staff, and it's not just up here where he's holding. This seems to travel right down into the water, and it's like, as you're watching, you're like, okay, so does the story start where he's holding it, or is it? And that's where your attention kind of goes for a little bit, and you realize that the story, the start of the story, seems to be in the lake, and you can't. Only every now and again, when it kind of comes up that he goes to kind of move to the other side to row, you get kind of a flash of some of the, and those etchings are a little softer, they're a little darker from being in the water. But it shows these three figures and what looks to be like a journey or a path, and then it's not a path, it's a river. It's three figures, and then Ramona's note: Cogga, Clishta, Aru, and the river Darrow, sorry, not Daru, the river Darrow, and how they, though they're not brothers in the sense of, they come from the same mother and father, same parents, brothers in that sense of they are connected, they are part of the pantheon, they come from the primes. These lakes were named for them. These lakes were not necessarily named, these lakes were claimed by them, and they fought over them. So the stories that, Ramona shared kind of went, and Clishta, the son of Tawar, who is associated with Littlest Brother Lake. The staff seems to tell that story, that like the gods claimed the lakes one after the other free, and then there was this sort of, well, my lake is the biggest, well, my lake is the source, well, it's that sort of, that fucking thing that weirdly enough gods and men do, which is, argue over the semantics of things, but the story, the river, as you follow it up, you see the three figures close to where Kyan's right hand is holding the top of the oar and that head. The three figures at the end of the river seem to be depicted on their knees in front of the mouth of this serpent.
Inez may have to interrupt him. Or with so much reverence. But I think she may look to ask and gesture to the snake's head that's being pressed upon the whole way down, and ask, does he have a name?
He doesn't turn back, and he doesn't look at you, Inez. Like he doesn't turn to face you. But over his left shoulder, he fixes an eye on you, and then he looks, because he there's a part of him that knows exactly what you were talking about. It has two names. The people here named it Peshta. And he just he goes back to looking out towards the lake again, like as in he feels like he's answered your question.
Yeah. Peshta, 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 Peshta. And she will carry the name and it will just kind of echo around him in a mildly irritating way, hopefully. And then after like a few minutes of that, she will ask, have you ever sighted him? Have they ever seen him?
Again, the question just kind of hangs in the air. And I imagine Eric, Thranos, Guy, Keelira are all between the music, the sound of the lake just kind of hitting against the boat, are just listening to this. And the question just hangs in the air, and it's that sort of, it's that question that everybody wants to ask, the person who's been there, the person who experienced it. But there's a part of you that knows you shouldn't ask that question because that might be a pretty personal.
It's a tad personal.
Yeah. And it hangs in the air. And you just see him nod. And it's not a one nod. He just nods his head up and down.
And does he remain stoic throughout? Or with that question, is there a shift in the atmosphere?
Two things happen at this point. I want you to give me an insight check. And Keelira, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for Sweetums.
I don't know why I bother.
That didn't go well, did it?
Well, it's only a 15, and I can only imagine what the real price of this is.
Oh, that's not bad. 15's not bad.
15's good. 15's good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was cocked, and then I rolled again, and then it was worse than the two numbers it was between. That is a 3.
Okay.
Not the Raven.
It's fine. If it's really bad, I'll just dismiss her.
In this moment.
Can I try something? I think with Bardic could I have had a chance to give Bardic Inspiration for that?
I was wondering if the lament would count.
I don't see why not. If you want to add, it's a d6.
Yeah.
Yeah, D6. You want to add a d6 to that? A 15 isn't bad. Like you're definitely reading something. But
it's a 20 now. So
a dirty 20 is even better. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think the reason, because I think as you're listening to Inez kind of probe this guy for information, it's that part of you, it's that innate curiosity, that storyteller, that this could be something else to add to your repertoire. This Peshta, this sounds interesting. And it's that sort of shift in the music. Again, it's not that it reverts back to that somber sort of memorial song, but it becomes a bit more sort of like melancholy. Like it's that sort of like this is, and it's ambient. It's just it's not that there's a particular melody to this anymore. It's just long play of notes that just hang in the air, that kind of reverberate Inez through you.
It's nice to know that curiosity is shared for a moment.
He, again, without looking back, someone sorry, someone has to save him. And in that moment, Kielira, it's that sort of, your attention had been kind of pulled on what Inez was asking, and the conversation, that's a strong word for what's happening between them and Kyan, but Sweetums has kind of watched this heron dive, come up, circle, swoop, soar, dive, come up. And again, the heron has largely stayed away or given kind of distance. And as Kyan says this, there's I imagine it's sort of a, what the hell does that mean? Kind of moment for the druid. And they shift their attention back on Sweetums. And the heron dives at the raven, wrapping its wings around him. And Sweetums doesn't resist. Sweetums, and like as you look through its eyes, like you feel this wave, this compulsion to dive into the water. And the bird just hits the water, the raven letting Sweetums go. And Sweetums doesn't resist the pull.
Yeah, definitely will dismiss the spell and send her back to where
Just sort of like
just dispel the whole thing.
The heron is out of the water, and like again begins that sort of like circling, like kind of climbing upwards. This time circling over the boat.
And I think with that awareness, Inez decides this boat does not need any more protection than what it has. It sounds impeccably fortified. And instead we'll place a gold coin just behind and like in a obvious enough place for the ferryman, but like in that way of like you tip your ferryman. But she doesn't need to make sigils. She doesn't need to muck a boat. She doesn't need to do anything more. And heeds the heron and we'll go and join the others.
Oh, thank you. As you take the coin and you place it on the little, he's standing just on like a little platform at the front of the boat. I don't know boat words, so you get platform at the head of the boat. and you place the coin down, I didn't give you your 20. So that sort of commotion, and it's kind of just, I don't know, between, because while you didn't see, you definitely heard the heavier splash, and you can all kind of, especially Inez, from your vantage, you kind of see a little bit of the concern, if not distress, on Keolira's face, and just sensing this fella isn't the biggest talker. There's that, maybe I should just check on Keolira. You remember, this is a ferryman's job. He is taking risk, and most ferrymen are paid. They're not paid by the travelers. They're paid by the village council or the city state. Again, they work for the town. They work for the city. They work for the village. So they're paid by the village. But a lot of people would, again, you tip your ferryman. You acknowledge hers, their work, their efforts. Hearing the familiar sound of the gold coin on the wood, he pulls the oar out of the water, and you all see him. And then, as you've to kind of turn around at this point, if you had kind of gotten up to move towards Giller, you've to kind of turn back. He drops into a low squat, resting the oar on his knees, and he reaches for the coin, and he holds it up over his head. Folks, don't leave offerings anymore. And the lake remembers, and Peshta hungers. And he flicks the coin into the lake.
Yours to do with what you will. But thank you for keeping us safe.
He doesn't stand up. He doesn't move to kind of put the oar back. He's gone silent again, but there is as you kind of try to get a sense in it, something about him has changed, like
in a human way,
in that kind of solemn, stoic sort of, like, I mean, he kept asking how many are crossing. He didn't care who you were. And again, it's that thing. I would imagine Eric is also a little bit like, his mind was very like, who are they? Where they're going? What do they need? What will I get? What he was thinking, what he was doing don't match up, and he's not asked any questions about ye. It's very much he looks like an old man. Like, he looks like a little old man now.
And this might be overstepping, but Inez may even be so bold as to watch him, staying still in that kind of meditative state with the oar. and will just whisper, like isn't trying to like bring more attention to a relationship with him. But may just say, you know, if you would like to rest, I can help take post for a minute, and you will still be supervising. But just like showing the tats, showing Tewa, I want to kind of with respect demonstrate she can be trusted with the ore, with the story.
He turns and it's a very slow turn, on the tips of his toes. He just sort of swivels, and he holds the ore up over his head so he doesn't hit you with it, and he brings it down and he holds it out to you, and you see these sort of milky gray green eyes, these deep, his face is so wrinkled, this guy he must be in his late 70s, if not early 80s. Just these wisps of hair that form a little poke of a beard on his chin, wisps of hair that sort of curl out from under the brim of that hat. And he holds his staff out towards you. And again, up along his arms, you see under very aged, freckled, tanned skin, you can see the sort of black green that ink goes with time. And there are tattoos of Tawar's symbols on his left hand, and on his other, it's strange. It looks a little bit like the veins and arteries in his hand are all marked out, but you recognize it instantly as a map of the river. He seems to have the main river Darrow and the tributaries off of it, the lakes, all sort of etched into his skin. And he, like I said, he holds the ore out to you.
With some trepidation, she asks, if I take this, will I be able to give it back?
He nods.
Is that a promise?
And he nods.
And she smiles and says, okay, you direct, I'll row.
As you place a hand on the ore, he looks straight at you. He looks at all of you in the boat. They used to tell us when we were children that the three brothers watched over the lakes. Klishta gave us wisdom so we'd know when to stay ashore. Saga gave us strength so we'd never forget the waters can take more than they gave. And Ahru taught us how the river slowly changes things, but their path can always lead us home. But then came Heshta. Not born of the water, born of their quarrel, born of their fear. And it ate and devoured and drank the river dry until the three bound him beneath the deepest lake, each giving a piece of themselves to keep it sleeping. But even sleeping things grow hungry. So we were tasked with offerings. Things we give unto it to sate, to feed, to quieten its hunger. Better gifts freely given than lives taken. All of you see he starts to cry. Like tears just start rolling down his face. That's what my father taught me, as his father did before him. And he goes quiet, and he hasn't let go of the oar. I only do what we have always done. And someone has to keep Peshta asleep. And I need all of you to make wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
26.
26. Okay.
14.
Okay.
Also, very warlock question. Did the whole boat trip count as a short rest?
It has. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Sorry, I said that during the break just in case anybody had missed it.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't there.
No. You know, that's what I mean. You might have missed it. I had said just as I came back, do take a short rest as part of this. That's not a problem. So we've had 26. We have a 14.
We have 18.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
12.
Okay. In this moment, the tears that are kind of running down his face. Water starts seeping out his nose, out his mouth, out his ears. And there's a moment where you see a lot of his clothes, his cloak, all fall away, and there is just this mane of seaweed as Cayenne shapes into the form of a kelpie. And Inez, Eric, and Kialira, you fall under his hypnotic gaze. And he throws himself into the water. And the three of you follow suit over the side of the boat. And that is where we're going to leave this session.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
That's all.
Oh my gosh.
Got all distracted. You should have listened when it tried to attack my familiar.
This is Thranos' first mission since becoming Hearth, and this is 4 people. He's lost.
He's telling these stories, and these are the same stories that Keolira grew up listening to. She grew up on these lakes, in these waters, with her parents being fisher people. She's like, why is this man crying about this? I don't understand why he's so moved by these stories.
I was starting to think, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, okay, it's his job when he's finished his job and his life is coming that he is the next sacrifice to Peshta. And in my head, I'm going, I sure hope he has a son because this man's crying, this man's old. Oh god. But
nah, he's just a Kelpie. He's just a Kelpie.
That was a very well worded bargain, my friend. Oh, God damn it. Okay, so we're gonna get out of this next time. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Totally fine.
Thank you so much to everybody who watched along. Again, this is a pre-recorded session, so hopefully some of us are here in chat with you. I'll be in chat because I'll be running the stream if I remember, but I'll be here. So I hope you've enjoyed. My name is Declan. I have been your game master. A massive thank you to Sam, Amelie, Soph, Randy, and Ashton, and Kian, who got off scot-free. But a massive thank you to
the best nat 1 he's ever rolled in his life.
The best nat 1. The best part was he had to sit on that for like 2 weeks going, what is it? What's happening? What is it? I was like, this has been the Emberlight Saga. All of the previous episodes are up on our YouTube channel, and you can check it out. We also have a mini series that runs alongside the Emberlight Saga called The Quiet Between, where we take an opportunity to explore the world, learn a little bit more about the characters in it, both their past as well as their present selves, and how they find themselves in this world, reacting to all of the changes and hardships that follow. We're back again next Monday, and we're keeping this going. So it's usually we alternate between different missions on a different Monday, but this is a full run for the Vanishings at Biggest Brother Lake. I think it's important. It's not nice to leave people waiting 2 weeks to find out what happens. So, I mean, we have to wait 2 weeks to record the next one, but we'll figure it out. We'll be fine. You're all fine. Actually, yeah, Inez is grand. Inez can breathe underwater. Like, it's like the worst.
Yeah, this was so intentional. I meant to bring my friends with me.
Come on, everybody!
Frustrating for a Kelpie, just like, why won't you drown?
Just drown.
Oh my god!
This has been a really interesting beach episode, guys.
Yeah.
We were having a boat trip.
Yeah. Before I bounce out, just to quickly remind you that at this point, I believe, hopefully, our applications for D8 Dungeon Drive 2026 and all the games, as well as D8 Dungeon Mania, have gone up and gone live. If you haven't signed up, then make sure you check out the D8 Dungeon Discord, or you can catch us on social media for any extra details. This year, we are continuing our work with Project Hope and their efforts in Gaza, Ukraine, the Lebanon, Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo. That is what they're trying to do as much work as they possibly can everywhere, and we want to try and help them continue with their efforts. So all proceeds raised between D8 Dungeon Mania and the marathon itself will be going directly to Project Hope. So without further delay, thank you all so much for your time, for joining us, and we will see you very, very soon.